Are you an introvert and wondering if you can be a good salesperson? The answer is yes. And I'm going to give you 3 strengths that you have over all those extroverts in this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell so that you can be notified every time we post a video about how you can be successful in sales as an introvert. The key to being great at sales, regardless of your introvertedness, if that's a word, is outlined in our book, Sales Made Easy for Entrepreneurs. You can get it on Amazon, and it's how we sell. It's based on my experience as a salesperson and as an introvert myself. Let me ask you, are you familiar with the concept of personality profiles? There's a great book called Personality Profiles. It's written by a gentleman named Robert Rome. I'll connect the link in the description below. And it talks about the 4 quadrants of personality types that help you understand the kind of core personality type you are and how you can relate to other people. It's basically broken down like this. People are either outgoing or they're reserved, or they're people-oriented or task-oriented. Those that are outgoing and reserved tend to be what they call D personalities, drivers. They're results-oriented, focused on results. Show me the results or I'm not interested. They're drivers. That's a driver personality, outgoing and task-oriented. Those that are people-oriented and outgoing tend to be what we call influencers. They're very people-centric. They love to talk about everything. They're kind of the center of the attention, the life of the party. That's a people-oriented, outgoing person. Those are the extrovert categories. And that, I think, is what most of us see as sales. Those are the salespeople that we always picture. These people are life of the party, center of attention, etc. Well, I'm here to give you hope, because in the other quadrants, we have what we call people-oriented and reserved. And that's called an S-type personality. They tend to be people that are supportive and they're kind of the loyal friend. Those are the people that go to a party and they're looking for their friends to hang out with. They're not going to be wandering around meeting new people. And then we have the reserved and the task-oriented person, and that's called a C personality, or what we call calculating. It's not necessarily a negative term. It really outlines the fact that they're very motivated by filling out lists, doing tasks, and being very analytical. They're usually some of the smartest people on the planet because they're really logical, looking at the facts and how the facts play out. So those are the 4 personality types. Those 2, the C and the S personality, tend to be the introverted personalities. And of those introverted personalities, usually the ones that are in sales are the S personalities. And that's the one that I'm going to talk about. Those are the people that tend to be in sales, and they tend to be great at sales. Have you ever been on a sales call with an extroverted person and just couldn't wait for them to shut up? If you have, or whatever your experience is, why don't you leave a comment in the comments section below? We'd love to hear your story and we love to respond. So what's the first strength that you introverts have over an extrovert? Well, the number one, at least in my experience and our experience as a sales team, a sales consultancy, is listening skills. Introverts tend to listen more than they speak. And I know for myself, sitting in a room, I'm very interested in just not being that outgoing, although I do force it. And I'll talk about why I do that later. But I find that just sitting back and listening is key to being successful in sales? Because everyone wants to be listened to. The key to engaging in a relationship with anyone is to have them do all the talking. There's a great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And really, it says that people love to talk about themselves. And you as an introvert are perfectly willing to let them talk about themselves. So that is one of the key aspects of being successful in sales, is having good listening skills. Now, you can't just listen and just listen. The key to it is active listening. And really, active listening is being sincerely interested in what that prospect has to say. That connection you're making because you're good at listening is crucial in developing a relationship, because people buy from people. And listening skills are key to that. Have you ever heard the phrase, seek first to understand and then to be understood? It's a phrase that Stephen Covey quoted, and it's really the goal we're trying to accomplish when we're listening. Focused on the other person, active listening. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen more than we speak. And one of the challenges that I found is when you, as an extrovert, we can tend to speak more than we listen. And you really want to keep the ratio, listen 80% of the time, speak 20% of the time. The next strength that introverts have, and remember I'm talking about in our model, DISC, that S quadrant individual, is people skills. The nature of a supportive individual, the supportive personality type. Now keep in mind that people aren't in one box. They're not S's or I's or C's or D's. They tend to have a blend of different types, but their core dominant type would be in this S quadrant. Those S quadrant individuals tend to have great people skills. They're very connected to the emotional quotient, I will call it. For lack of I'm not going to go into that here, emotional quotient, but they definitely have the emotional savvy to be able to connect to people. That's why they're usually deemed as loyal friends, very, very personable, very relatable. It's because they have an inherent sixth sense, say that again, sixth sense of that human interaction, I guess. The emotions tied around the words that people ask, the statements that people make. And it's very much a strength of someone that's an introvert. Because of that, they've got a great ability to connect with people. And that connection is key to sales and being strong at sales, because ultimately at the end of the day, people buy from people. The sales isn't just a transaction. People buy from people. Individuals make the decision to buy from you. It's not the company that makes the decision. Ultimately, the individual that you're dealing with that has the responsibility is the one that makes the decision to buy from you. So that connection with people is a crucial strength that someone who's introverted has in sales. The last one that I'll talk about is driven by the other two, because usually that introverted person, that person that's an S quadrant personality type, is great at listening and they've got great people skills. They're also better at asking questions. And asking questions is a key element in being successful at sales. It really relates back to that someone loves to talk about themselves. And you want your prospect talking about their situation, talking about themselves, talking about everything to do with their business. And the only way to do that is to be asking them questions. You have to be good at asking them questions. Now, the questions that you ask, you should be learning how to do it strategically, because you don't want to randomly ask questions. We want to have questions with a purpose. And that's what Get More Sales Academy is all about, is we're trying to help you learn the approach that helps you sell better and helps you ask the right questions and have a strategic nature to your questions. So summarizing a little bit here, if you're an introvert, your 3 strengths, at least in my experience, in our experience, is that you're better at listening than those extroverts out there. You're better at connecting with people than those extroverts out there. And because of those 2, you're better at asking questions. Now, there is one downside, and it's been my experience. One thing I had to overcome in being an introverted salesperson, an introverted entrepreneur, is learning rejection and how to handle it. Because rejection, because you're so people-centric, everything is a personal interaction. And being rejected in that scenario can be painful. And you really have to learn to deal with that. And those people that can't tend to not stay in sales very long. But if you can, then you become an amazing salesperson because you really connect with your prospect. Now, there's a way to overcome that. One of the ways I did was really separating those rejection situations, which usually are prospecting, cold calling, those kind of things, and really focusing on the task and not the person, accomplishing the task. And that helped me overcome that rejection part of it. So there you have it. Introverts can be and tend to be the best salespeople. Why? Because they're better at listening, they're better with people, and they're better at asking questions. But watch out for that rejection situation, because that could derail you. If you're struggling with sales, you can reach out to me directly, rob@getmoresales.academy, or you can click on any of the links below. We've created a bunch of resources. You can download our book, 7 Laws That Make Sales Easy. You can enroll in a free course to learn how to convert leads into paying customers, or you can directly buy our book off of Amazon, the links below, Sales Made Easy for Entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this video, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And in case you missed it, don't forget to click on this video where we talk about how you can get a 50% response rate on your cold calls, your voicemails, and your emails. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.